Well, the two college football playoff games have come and gone, and we're getting the national championship matchup that I think we all expected. Today I'm going to be giving my brief thoughts on the two playoff games and what this means for the national championship. But before I talk about the games, make sure to smash that subscribe button and turn on those notifications if you're new to the channel. If you love college football, then this is definitely the place for you. Also, if you could drop a like on this video, I would really appreciate it. It helps the algorithm of the video and helps share with more college football fans. Also, drop a comment down below and let me know your thoughts on the two games from today. Did you expect the two outcomes, and what are your expectations for the national championship? Alright, so the first game I want to talk about is Georgia-Michigan, because in my opinion, this one was the bigger surprise for me. Currently, the game is still going on, so if I list off some stats, they might not be accurate because, well, there's about 12 minutes left in the fourth quarter, and Michigan's not coming back in this one. So as of right now, it's 34-3 Georgia. Again, that might not be the final score, but as of right now, that's what it looks like. And man, what a performance by Georgia. Now, I made a video a couple weeks ago where I talked about Georgia not being able to win the championship if Stetson Bennett was their starting quarterback. And I got to start there because I'm sure there's going to be people that are going to be throwing the old takes exposed my way because of that video. And I got to say, this is the best game I've ever seen from Stetson Bennett. This is the best game of his career, and this is one of the better performances we've seen from a quarterback in the college football playoff. He threw for over 300 yards, had 3 passing touchdowns, no interceptions, also added 32 yards on the ground, and essentially he made every big play when needed. There were multiple times when Georgia had third down and they needed a couple yards, and he managed to get the first down. There were a couple big plays that Stetson Bennett had where, again, he just looked like an amazing quarterback. And this is against a Michigan defense that was coming into this game as a top 5 defense in the entire country, and he made them look like a group of 5 school. You know, I really didn't think Stetson Bennett had it in him. I did talk about that video that Georgia could probably get past Michigan with Stetson Bennett playing poorly, but if Stetson Bennett's able to play anything like this against Alabama, then Georgia has a really good shot of beating them. But even if Stetson Bennett plays better than he did in the SEC title game, I think Georgia has a legitimate chance because this defense is truly unreal. I mean, all season we talked about Georgia being one of the best defenses we've ever seen in college football, probably the best defense we've ever seen in college football. Now, they did struggle against Alabama in the SEC title game where they allowed 41 points, but it seems like a lot of people kind of just wiped away Georgia's season basically just from one performance. And that's a mistake by many people, including me. Yeah, someone who had Michigan plus 7.5 on a few parlay tickets. I mean, all season, Michigan has had one of the best rushing attacks in all of college football. And against Georgia, it was pretty much non-existent. Again, these stats might be a little different, but as of right now, 24 carries for 78 yards, 3.3 yards a carry. Hassan Haskins, 9 carries for 39 yards. Blake Corum, 3 carries for 6 yards. I mean, come on, JJ McCarthy had 24 yards. He was essentially their best runner on the night. And as I look over, Michigan has 4th and goal, and they turn it over again. What is that, 5 straight possessions with the turnover? Good God, Michigan, you embarrassment. I really don't know if Michigan's offensive line just played their worst game of the season, or if Georgia again just proved that this is the best defensive front that we might have ever seen. Yeah, I'm actually probably going to go with the second option. I mean, it seemed like play after play, the entire Georgia defense was just swarming Michigan. Whether it was the defensive linemen, the linebackers, the speed they had, Michigan never stood a shot. I mean, it seriously seemed like every play they were getting swarmed and they had no time for anything. Again, just hats off to Georgia because this defense has been historically good all season. And again, we all thought, well, myself, thought that they might have been exposed against Alabama when it clearly shows it was just one bad game. This Georgia defense is scary. I mean, they're unbelievable. They are just loaded at every position, and it's really going to be interesting to see how they fare against Alabama. Final wrap up on the game though, just again, I thought Michigan would be able to hang in there. I thought they could definitely keep it within 7. I thought this would be kind of like a 23-20 type of game, both defenses showing out, but again, Georgia, they proved that they're legit, and they proved that they're one of the 2 best teams in all of college football. Hats off to Michigan, though. They had an incredible season, you know, winning the Big Ten, beating Ohio State, making the college football playoff. Things just didn't go their way. Things did not go their way tonight. Had they played any other team, I think they would have stood a shot, but facing a Georgia team who is coming off a tough loss, yeah, looking back at this, I should have taken Georgia minus the 7.5. Oh, this photo brings me pure pain. I mean, pure pain. Yeah, my guy, I feel you. I definitely would have wanted Bama as well. Your game probably would have been a lot closer. Maybe like a 17, 18 point loss. Alright, so those are my thoughts on the Georgia-Michigan game. Let's turn things over to the Alabama-Cincinnati game. This was a game that I was really interested in taking a look at because a lot of people, myself included, were very intrigued to see what Cincinnati would be able to do against Alabama. It was the first time we saw a group of 5 team reach the college football playoff, and a lot of people were eager to see what it would look like. Now, I will tip my hat to Cincinnati. I do know they lost 27-6, but I thought overall they played a really good game. I thought their defense was pretty outstanding considering that Brian Robinson ran for over 200 yards on them. Their defense kept them in the game. I mean, entering the fourth quarter, they were only trailing 17-6. They had every opportunity to inch their way back into the game. The only problem was the offense was pretty much non-existent. Desmond Ridder had probably the worst game of his entire career. He completed, I think, only 50% of his passes, didn't throw a single touchdown, and he pretty much looked lost all game. Alabama's defense was too much for Cincinnati's offensive line to overcome, and there was clearly a mismatch there. Okay, so I just looked over at the score, and I see that Michigan now has 11 points, and I don't even know how they got the 8 points. So it's very fitting that as I'm filming this video, they finally decide to score their first touchdown. So, thanks, Michigan. I mean, really, at any point in this game, if Cincinnati's just able to score a touchdown, then we're having a pretty close game. They just couldn't, and after that opening drive in which they got a field goal, they just didn't really look good on offense at all for the remainder of the game. But again, for the most part, I thought they did a good job. I know Bryce Young had 3 touchdowns, but I thought that he didn't really look his best out there. I thought that this was one of his worst games of the season. I thought Cincinnati was making him nervous, and overall, he just made the plays when he needed to, and that's what it took for Alabama. But yeah, I don't think people should give Cincinnati a hard time. I don't think any team would have hung with Alabama in this game with how their defense was playing. Hell, put Michigan against Alabama. This probably would have been the exact same score. So I hope people don't really give a group of 5 team a lot of flack for this game because, again, no one else would have beaten Alabama. I thought Cincinnati's defense did a fantastic job. The offense just didn't show up. And not to mention, they're going to be closer to Alabama than Michigan was to Georgia. So that leaves us with a national championship featuring Alabama and Georgia. We get a rematch of the SEC title game like a lot of people expected. I mean, this is going to be a damn good game. These are clearly the 2 best teams in college football. That was a good game the last time around, but both these teams, it's going to be a month-and-a-half difference between the 2 contests. So Alabama, they're going to have a lot of time to prepare. Georgia's going to have a lot of time to prepare. And I think this is going to be a damn good game. As of right now, it looks like the spread is going to be Georgia minus 2.5. So the Bulldogs are going to be the favorites in this one over Alabama. I mean, this is going to be a really good game. I got no idea which side I want to pick in this one, but all I have to say is it's tough to beat the same team twice in one season. It's even tougher to beat them twice when it's a team like Georgia. So if I had to give my early prediction, I'm going to say Georgia wins the national championship, but then again, who knows, because these are clearly the 2 best teams in college football, and it's going to be an amazing game. So what are your thoughts on the games from today? Did you expect Alabama and Georgia to win with ease, or did you think that each game would be a little closer? Also, let me know what your predictions are for the national championship. Drop your score predictions down below. If you guys haven't done so yet, now is the perfect time to smash that subscribe button and turn on those notifications if you're new to the channel. Also, if you could help the algorithm of the video by dropping a like on this video, I would greatly appreciate it. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you all in 2022.